Win Monday Nation. What is going on? It is the latest episode of Paul's Take on the heels of an epic conversation with Scott McGregor, who has many titles, but I will call him out right now to say he is the proud founder of the Outlier Project. Frankly, it's a community that Win Monday, we are one in the same. We are all kindred spirits. The Win Monday community and the Outlier Project, we are sisters, we are brothers. We will be supporting each other forever. And it is because of the spirit of Scott McGregor. So if you have not heard our conversation, please go back and listen in. But here's the take that Scott inspired. And it started from a place of a storm because Scott, 16 years ago, got a verdict that he never had intended, wanted, asked for, desired, and here it is. He has a rare condition that at any given point, with no symptoms, it could take him out. It is a medical condition. It is a disease that with no warning signals, it could be his last moment. But as Scott shared in our conversation, adversity can be a gift. It's what builds our resilience muscle. And it was that storm, that moment, that sentence, that verdict, that news that Scott, you never know when your last moment is going to be. And a decade and a half later, as he and I had this conversation, frankly, it's what led to the Outlier Project being formed. The mission of the Outlier Project is to live an extraordinary life, to live an extraordinary life. And that's what today's take is all about. How can you and I live the most extraordinary life possible? And we don't need a scare to inspire it. We don't need adversity to inspire it. For Scott, of course, who wouldn't have that wake-up call? But for you and I, we don't need something tragic to happen. We don't need to come down with a disease that might take us out in order to reframe and reshift the way that we show up every day and the decisions we make and the actions we take. We don't need that. That is a choice. That is a choice on how we want to step forward into every day to live and earn an extraordinary life. So for you, how would you define an extraordinary life? What does an extraordinary life mean for you? Who's in it? What are you doing? Professionally, personally, pull out that vision board. Manifest what this extraordinary life looks like. And the beauty is, you may be on that path. You may need a slight pivot, or you may need to pull a 180. Regardless, today can be the day that you make that decision and you take that action to build and earn an extraordinary life. In Scott's words, it's how you become an outlier, because anybody can be ordinary, but it's the rare few like us that can choose to be extraordinary. We don't need adversity to strike in order to reframe the way that we live with more intention, by design, with purpose, and on purpose. So thank you to Scott for hopefully waking a lot of us up to say, if you want to go attack that extraordinary life, if you want to live that extraordinary life, we don't need a storm to wake us up. We don't need a pandemic to wake us up. We don't need a medical condition to wake us up. We can attack every day with urgency. What is the reason behind the urgency to live an extraordinary life? Great questions for all of us to reflect on. Thanks to my main man, Scott McGregor, founder of the Outlier Project. If you have not heard that conversation, go back and check it out. Thank you, Scott, for inspiring this latest episode of Paul's Take on the Win Monday podcast.